What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. Want to thank my sponsor, Steel Supplements. Link and discount code down in the description. You also know I'm a Weeble preferred affiliate. It's our best promotion in the pinned comment. So many people this month taking advantage of it. Do not get left out. It's Wednesday. There's no sports on today. You've got the World Series coming up. But all you need to do right now, click the link in the description, go open an account. You deposit a single dollar. They are going to give you free fractional shares for making the qualifying deposit, and they're going to give you up to 5% back on the uninvested money. So whether you put in $1, $10, $1 million, up to 5% back on that uninvested money. It is a win-win situation. Recommend you take advantage of it. Glad to see so many people doing it, but you only have to the end of the month, and you have to click the link in order to take advantage. Now, I'm going to ask you a question in the comment section. I'm doing this a lot. I want you to let me know who lied to you, okay? I'm going to let you be the judge and jury here. Was it me or was it EA Sports? Because we saw this image in the release of Madden, the trailer, and a lot of people panicked because we thought this is going to be something we see all the time. This is really one of the few times that I have seen it, and we're going to break it down granular and take a look at exactly what's occurring and why I feel this is still an issue, even though we're not seeing it in the game. Now, I've seen a lot of people tell me what causes this or how you can get it to happen. 95 speed quarterback, you have to be scrambling, you have to have X factor, you have to be throwing while you hit a button to sprint, whatever the case may be. Here's the reality. We go through a play action, okay? So it's really not like we're scrambling here by design. You have a defender come off the edge, untouched, quarterback starts to run, lunges right there. See that little lunge forward? I want you to pay really close attention to that, because once the ball is thrown, notice that now we're being tackled. This, to me, screams an animation that was recorded together, meaning the defender is tied to the quarterback. That little lurch forward, and then all of a sudden they're falling together. That tells me that we were never going to get the player tackled before he started to throw. And we watched the play just kind of from the overhead view. I think that's why we're not seeing it as often as we think. This almost goes back, if you remember, when they put the David Tyree catch in, the helmet catch. It was in the game, but you had to have the right animation trigger. And a lot of times with animations, you just have to have them happen. You can't really force them this way. And I believe when you look at a throw out of sack, that is not the intention of that throw. That throw was to be used on the run. They actually showed, you can see how far defenders are away. So kind of works two ways. Number one, EA is clearly putting something in the trailer that's realistic, right? That we've seen Pat Mahomes do. And they're saying to you, yeah, we included it in the game because it's that much of an NFL simulation. It's that realistic. Then, when we get the game, we're really not seeing it at the rate we would expect. And then when we do see it, we see it with the result that would not actually be what it was intended for. Throwing out of a sack after a play action. So when I go back and think about the way EA tries to market this game, they try to take moments that you'll connect with as a fan. Moments that you'll remember, more importantly, right? When you watch a whole game and you see something like this happen, do you remember what happened on the third drive? Do you remember the player that made the tackle? Of course not. You remember that moment. Just like my cousin, Jake Moody, misses a kick, that's what people remember. They don't remember the kicks that he made, they remember the ones that he missed, because that inherently becomes the moment, and that is what EA capitalizes on when they're selling you highlight football. The problem with highlight football is it doesn't happen on every single play, and unless you have everything else that goes into the game, unless you have a complete product, the highlights, they don't really matter, because you don't get the full picture of the game. So all the concerns that we had seemingly now seem unjustified, because we're not seeing this animation play out. We're not seeing every quarterback be able to do it. But I do know from my experience in playing the beta, I definitely saw this happen all the time. But now that the game has been released, we're not seeing it. Now that also brings up another conversation of, it's just the beta. They have time to fix it. We talk about this just about every year. If you've played the beta for a long period of time, and you've tried to give EA feedback, and you've expressed your concerns, you'll know that the beta gameplay is the same, but it changes in how it's tuned once the game releases. And I think this goes back to almost the placebo marketing, right? We're going to go out to people, we're going to tell them it's a different game, they're going to play the game, they're going to tell others that haven't played it, there's the placebo, that it's different, and then they are going to be inclined to believe that the game has changed. When they get it, they'll play it, they'll think that it's better when it's not, and then gradually they'll come to terms with the fact that it is the same game, but after we've already earned that purchase. So to me, I feel like this was another situation where EA took advantage of you being an NFL fan, took advantage of a player making an incredibly athletic play, and decided to, rather than honor that player and how athletic they are every single play, every single drive, every single game, instead focus on just a single thing they knew that they could roll into a hype trailer, a sizzle trailer, show for a few seconds, generate some excitement, get people like myself talking about the game, and then not even have it in the game enough for it to matter. And this to me shows why this game fails every single year, why just a couple weeks ago it was on sale for $40-some on Amazon, down from over $100 if you wanted to get the best version of the game when it released. How many products do you know that start out at one price and then less than 4 months later are half the cost at a time where the product should be in more demand? Let's be fair. You've got the NFL season going on right now. You have teams that are doing better. You have teams that are doing worse. You have a whole fan base that wants to solve those problems, right? If your team is good, you want to go play with a team that's good. If your team is bad, you want to go play and make that team good. Have them live up to your standards. Have them go undefeated. That is what video games ultimately do. They give you the opportunity to control the environment, control the world, and control what's happening. That's what makes them fun. You're not so much suspending belief of what's happening, but you're controlling the outcome of what's happening by being a good player. That's what makes someone go buy a game and play it. Period. I was playing MLB The Show and having the Orioles be the best team in baseball long before they were one of the best teams in baseball. Why? Because it's a video game. So EA is capitalizing on all those things, but they're not providing the product that allows you to do it. And every year we sit here and we have the same discussion about how broken the game is. But more importantly, in this discussion, I want to talk about what EA does. Because you'll never convince me that this wasn't a very calculated move on their part. They took an animation that they put in the game that is actually tied to a defender. They made it seem like it was a unique game moment, like it was in real life. They specifically showcased it in a trailer so that people could talk about it from a marketing standpoint to generate interest in their game, and then they released the game with the animation so toned down that very few people have even seen it. They've done this time and time again in the course of their game. And it provides the buyer a very unrealistic expectation of what they're going to see. Because someone that sees this at face value and doesn't understand how animation dependent the game is, may just think that they've made the game more realistic by incorporating something like this. But the reality is, they've really only incorporated it in a trailer to sell you a product that they know is going to deceive you when you get it in your hands. So to bring this full circle, let me know. Who lied to you? Did I lie to you by telling you to be concerned about this and the impact it could have on the game? Or did EA lie to you by showing it, knowing that once you got the game in your hands, the likelihood of you seeing it would be slim to none? I would really love to know your thoughts on this video. I appreciate you watching, and you know when EA is going to put animations in the game, specifically apparently to sell them to you in a trailer, knowing that you won't see them when the game turns on, so you play your team waiting for this to happen, but it won't. There is no way that I won't be back in the week with more commentary.